Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today I want to talk a little bit about that further push to get away from your Googles and your Microsofts and maybe your Zooms and things like this. Because we do have software that's available and it's getting better and better and better. And that software is, in so many ways, it's just getting so good. Of course, we're talking about NextCloud. Now, I have been using NextCloud since roughly version 12, which is about 5 years ago, super early in the development process. Now, let me tell you what I'm doing with NextCloud. You know how you can sync your contacts and things like that? My contacts are synced to my NextCloud server. Google, Microsoft, Apple does not have access to my contact list. So I'm not sharing that with anybody. All right. I use the NextCloud contact system to do that. I use NextCloud for the calendars. If you send a calendar invite or it's on the schedule to sync across the different computers, phones, devices, all of that is managed on NextCloud. When I do the notes for the weekly news roundup, those are done on NextCloud on the Notes application. And there was a time I used the Google Docs type function, although I don't have a ton of need for that right now. And at the time, I was able to get the Talk application working, which is our video conferencing. I was able to get their Google Docs application working. All of that was very difficult in the day. And if you followed some of the early videos we did on this channel with NextCloud, you'll know that it was very difficult to set those up. And you might have looked at it and go, that's just not for me. Well, if you're still looking to get away from Google, Microsoft, Apple, and all of these different places where you're syncing your contacts and things like that, I'm going to tell you, NextCloud has made a lot of really forward motion, especially if we get into using your own server on like a DigitalOcean or things like that. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to talk about how NextCloud is becoming so good. We have now a tool called NextCloud All-in-One. This is a script that it takes out the complexities of that Spreed server, the Calibora server, all of those things that made NextCloud work behind the scenes, under the hood, that was very difficult, is now super easy to do. Now, this does use Docker, which I'm not a huge fan of Docker, but in this instance, it works pretty well. I have been running a NextCloud instance for somebody for a few months now in a business environment to give it a test, and we've just been doing some conference testing as well because the new NextCloud Talk program has had so many amazing improvements in it that this is now becoming a very easy, very viable solution that it is so easy, we don't even have to go through a full install. I'll explain it to you right now, and I'll kind of walk you through a little bit about what it looks like on the back end inside of your build. But the reality we have is that it is so easy to set this up on a DigitalOcean, maybe even on a Linode, that we're going to go ahead and start with that, and I'm going to walk you through what it is, what you can do with it. Now, it's not free, and to get the Google Docs and the Talk applications and things like that, you are going to need a little bit beefier of a server, but paying about 20 bucks a month or so is really good for easily up to 10 or so people, maybe a little bit more. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at that particular server, we're going to look at the Talk application, we're going to look at the Google Docs applications, and how the back end is managed on the container end. So let's go ahead and head right on inside of the van here. I'm going to boot up the computer, and we're going to show you guys what the NextCloud All-in-One application looks like and how you can get it set up on DigitalOcean. So we've mentioned we're using DigitalOcean for this, and what we're going to do here is we'll start with why should you use DigitalOcean? I've been using DigitalOcean for more and more test servers and hosting servers lately just because They tend to match my personal philosophies of business a little bit more than Akamai does. Not that I'm dropping all of those. It's just I'm diversifying my platform. So if you want to help support the channel, you can actually use our DigitalOcean affiliate code, tlm.li/DOH. You can head on over here, and then if you want to create new sites over here, you can go ahead and head on over to the marketplace, and then there's just all sorts of fun stuff in here. If you want to run a cPanel to run your own cPanel system, there you have it. You have Alma Linux, Ubuntu. If you want to do Bitwarden, you can install a Bitwarden instance over there. If you want to do the NextCloud we're going to be talking about over there, you can choose the NextCloud. And then there's just a ton of other things that you can do in here as well. We use a Jitsi server for our Wednesday and Thursday shows, excuse me. So you can build that over here. And there's just all sorts of stuff that you can do. And utilizing the marketplace here is a good place for you to spin up any type of server that you need for all sorts of easy functions. I don't know if Jellyfin's on here or not. Let's see. There's no Jellyfin. You'll have to install that manually. They do have Plex, and they should have Plex. Do they not have Plex? They don't have Plex. I thought I saw Plex down here. Literally, that's what made me want to search for it. Oh, well. I saw Plesk. Okay. I thought they had Plex as well. Again, easy to install. You just set up a basic lamp stack. If you're like, you need something like that, there you go. There's a lamp stack. Or you can do one of the other platforms, whatever they happen to need. So you can head on over here for all sorts of fun things, tlm.li/DOH. So all I did in my instance is you just come on down here, choose your NextCloud. This NextCloud instance that they have is the NextCloud All-in-One, or the NextCloud AIO. So what this is going to do, it's going to install it onto Ubuntu. I know, but it's Ubuntu. It works. It's fine. And Ubuntu is really good for a server. It's running this on an LTS. And then we have, it says version 4.5.0. That's 450 of the NextCloud All-in-One script. This is going to give you NextCloud, I don't know, 20-something. We'll look at it and have that number here in a bit. But the reason that this one is so easy to use is you create this button over here, and then this is going to set you up into your setup screen, and then you can choose your server settings. Now, depending on what you need, you can choose, I personally, I'll go with the regular SSDs. They're a little bit cheaper, and I don't need super premium, absolutely the fastest speed ever. And you can do a variety of different server types. The one we're going to be sampling here is the $24 a month. If you're just doing this as like a small family plan or something, you could probably get away with the 12 or the 18, assuming you need all of the features. If you don't need all of the features, you can drop this back even lower than that. The biggest feature, as we'll see, is going to be your Calibora, which is going to allow you to run your NextCloud like a Google Docs instance. But we'll get into that. Again, I'm using this one, $24 a month. If you want to add extra space, you can add, you can do extra volume. This will be, 100, 200 gigabytes more of the space. You can do an SSH key, or you can do a password. And you can also enable backups, which I would highly recommend if you're running this in a production environment. I'm not running on this instance because this is just a test instance. It will be deleted. Give it your host name, and then what you're going to do from here is hit the create a droplet. And then once you do that, what you're going to do is just head on over to your IP address. They're going to give you what your IP address is. So in this case here, the IP address is here, 104.248.558.91. Or if you already have this set up in wherever your domain is being managed, nextcloud.yourdomain.com, or wherever you're putting your domain. And you can set that. It doesn't have to be nextcloud. You go ahead and just set up your domain any way that you want. And on the first run of this system, you're going to tell it what that's going to be, and that's going to establish everything. So what I did here is on cPanel, I just created a new record for nextcloud.switchedtolinux.com, and I just edited the records for just the NextCloud and the www.nextcloud just in case. So both of those are now going to be pointing to the IP address that they've given me in my project. Once that is done, you just need to head on over to your to that page I tell you to go to, your IP address 8080. Usually this is more reliable on first setup than this because it's not actually going to be set up. This one will work if you set up the DNS inside of your DigitalOcean, which I have not done in this case, and I usually don't. It's just easier for me to manage it all through cPanel or whatever DNS I'm using. Once you get there, then you're ready to jump on into your main administrative system. So once you get into there, then you will get to your main dashboard. I'm actually on the system settings. So let's head on over to the dashboard here. And when you get onto the dashboard here, you'll see that there's a variety of different features, and this is all customizable. Here's your recommended files. Here's any mentions in talk. So you can see we had a talk conference with a test. And here's any upcoming events if you're using the calendars. Here's any notes. And on the Customize button, you can go ahead and choose what is showing up. If you set a location for weather, you can do this. I don't know. I wouldn't usually use this because I'm mobile on the road. Let's see. Right now, I'm hanging out in Yucca Valley. So let's see if I can find anything related to Yucca Valley. Of course, Weather Channel cannot even get good accurate results here. But there you have it. 15C, and I don't know if it's going to allow us to switch that over to F. It probably does in the settings. And so here I can also set the status. This is going to work for, you can use NextCloud as a full collaborative suite. This will replace your teams. This will replace all of those back-end workspace suites, so you can just quickly set things up. I'm in a meeting, I'm commuting, I'm working remotely, I'm out sick today, I'm vacationing, and so you can set a variety of different statuses over here. Now, inside of your files, this is basically the Dropbox replacement. This is where all of your files are going to be stored. And inside of your files document, you'll see that we have the ability, I clicked that too fast there. You have the ability that we can add favorites, we can do details, rename, move, or copy. You can download it, you can delete the folder. You also have the share options. The share options, this is how I do the science fiction short stories for people on Patreon, Subscribestar, Locals. So these are actually set in my NextCloud instance. And then what you do is just create a share link. And then inside your share link, you can customize the link with various things. You can set a password. You can set an expiration date. Oops, I forgot to set the expiration date on the one I just pushed out. We can hide the download. We can put a note to the recipient. And then there's custom permissions. So you can set people what you want. And then you can click this button to delete the share. That's going to prevent people from being able to share it any further. You also have the ability, this one here, if I have other users set up, clicking this guy here is going to show other users within this instance of NextCloud. So if you're using this as a business, your employees would all be set up. You can easily share this with other employees, no one else, and then that's going to show up on their platform. And then internal links only works for users with access to the folder. So this is just people who have access to the internal systems. So inside of here, of course, you can you can create a shared folder. I have a global shared folder on mine that anybody that needs to send me a file I send them that link and they can go right to it, completely end-to-end encrypted. They can securely drop a file directly from their desktop into my NextCloud on my own server. No third party goes in between. And I have that perennially set up so it never expires. Now inside of here we have a variety of different documents. So the NextCloud itself allows a variety of different read settings for different document types. So here is the internal PDF reader. I'm not sure if this uses the browser or something directly related to NextCloud itself. So if it's a little slow, my internet has been teetering on the slow side today. But here is the PDF document that they give you within it. Of course, if you are utilizing the all-in-one instance that has the Google Docs application, over here is your Google Docs. So I can do any type of editing I want to do on this guy here. And we have, it is setting us up with this more modern, newer panel here, which is a little annoying, but oh well, we'll deal with it, right? This is, I guess, the way the world wants us to work. So there you have it. Maybe it is actually a better bet for these ones here. You can do save, you can export as, here's a PDF and an EPUB. You can download it, ODT, RTF, DocX, Doc, EPUB, PDF, and the PDF has something else. Here's repair, here's your document properties. So we do actually have a lot of good features within this. And again, it's working just like Google Docs. Multiple people could be on here at the same time, all editing this document together. Here's the share instance. You can share the link internally, externally, or whatever else. We can chat about it. We can put it to activity pubs or things like that. So this is really where NextCloud starts to shine. This used to be very difficult to set up, but now it's a click of a button. Here's the photos folder inside of here. They should give us some sample photos. I haven't looked, but we'll go ahead and see. So inside of the sample folders, you can set up photos and set views. You can set your phone app to automatically sync to this folder so you can view all of your folders online or all your photos online. So this is what we have as far as our photos are concerned. So here's a video. Here's your photos. Here's a little gorilla. Here's a little frog. That's a cool little bookstore. Dude, this is the same exact open source photo I think I use on my Writing Done Right channel. I swear I didn't put it there. That's kind of fun. All right. And so there is that. Activity is something that I've not really used. It's just, what types of things have gone on lately. Here today, you've changed this document. You've removed public. You've shared a public link. I find that kind of useless. Thank you for telling me all the things that I can do. We're going to come back to talk in a bit. Contacts. This is the one that I actively use in full production with my phone. My phone contacts are synced through NextCloud to my phone. No third party involved. Now, if you have your contacts as a VCF file, you can actually import the contacts over here. You can select a local file or you can import it from the files. You can create contact groups. So, maybe this is team A, team B. You can create circles, groups of people you can create yourself with whom you can share data. And there's other settings and options inside. I'd show you my actual production one, but that would expose contact information for, personal people in my circles. So not going to do that. But over here in the calendar, again, I have this set up to cross-sync across my phone. Of course, I'm using Linux Mint Cinnamon over here. If I were to go in and create an online account with this, I can just open up Evolution, create an appointment in Evolution. It will automatically appear on this calendar. It will sync across to my phone. All of my calendaring is done inside my NextCloud instance, my production one, of course. The notes is what I use for doing the I have for the weekly news roundup, all of the articles get put into a NextCloud folder for notes. Just because I can do it on the phone or on the computer or anywhere else, I can simply share stuff back and forth. There is a notes application that I use on the Lineage phone I get from F-Droid. And then I have a variety of other things. Like I have a list of movies I want to get. So it's always on my phone. If I walk into a thrift store, I can refresh myself as to movies I might be looking for. Any other random notes, I'll get put into here. Deck, I believe Dex is like a Trello board, if I remember correctly. This is a newer application, one I do not have installed in my production run. But this, I believe, is going to allow us to set up tasks and appoint tasks to different people. So, yeah, this is like a can board. So we can add a board. Let's do tasks. This is one I have not used before, so... let's see, create a new list. Let's just call it tasks. And then if we add tasks, let's do finish this video. There we have it. So you can come over here. Here's the attachments and we can assign it to me. We can probably assign it to other people as well. If I had more people on the system, we can delete it. We can archive it. So there's a number of different things, and then anything in those tasks will appear in your tasks list. So that really is, NextCloud really does replace that whole Office suite of things. So the next thing, of course, one last thing we haven't looked at is the talk application. And we'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. So here's our tasks. Here's my doing my simple tasks. Here we go. Here's my deck tasks. I got to finish this video. All right, over on to talk. This is the one we saved until later. So talk allows you to do full collaboration and conferencing. So here's the test conference that we had, and I asked Ivan from the Anchorage to come on over here just for a test from the Matrix server. I can create more rooms over here. Here's creating a new conversation. I can jump in over here. So I can write a message over here, and it'll appear on everybody that's involved in here. Now, since he's a guest, he still has this conference link, so he can come back into here and still show up, or he can just ignore it and this thing will disappear and we can just go ahead and delete the conversation. We can create a new one. We can create conversations with a variety of different people, and we now have our video conferencing, which I'm going to pull in a clip. We recorded the video conferencing earlier today. I'm going to show you how that works right here. All right, so here is our testing of the new NextCloud Talk on. This is the NextCloud All-in-One Docker image. This is installed on a DigitalOcean server. And I believe the raw cost of this DigitalOcean server is $24 a month, which is good enough to run a few things. So here we have a conference call with Ivan. Ivan, what's your channel name?
The Anchorage. Spelled T-E-H.
T-E-H, the Anchorage. And his audio is not coming in super well. It's we couldn't get the good microphone to work, just system issues on his PC end, right? But we just plugged in this little simple headset and that worked. The cool thing about this new talk application, if you go up just to the left of the little leave call button, there's conversation actions. And under media settings, you can actually change on the fly your media settings, your cameras and your microphones. There's some backgrounds. Let's try seeing what happens if I hit a blur background. Oh, look at that. It actually... It's a little laggy on my end. Let me apply the setting. Is that laggy on your end?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's laggy on my end.
It's a little choppy.
But you do have options for that. Oh yeah, just probably any of those is going to be a little choppy, but just using your basic background, it's it's fine. So
yeah,
works for me.
I just threw one out.
So yours looks good on my end, actually. Mine was a little choppier.
Oh, good.
Not sure why, but you can do other things. These are like, the last time I tried to play around with NextCloud Talk, it was abysmal application. It didn't work well. This is actually really, really good. I don't know. I'm wondering, should we spin one of these up and give it a try on a Thursday show sometime?
Yeah, I think we should. I think it'll be fun.
All right. It'll be a little expensive, but we'll give it a whirl. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here. So our basic testing works out pretty well. While we're here, though, here's the chat, so you can see our diagnosis of trying to figure out what's wrong with the microphone. And then you have navigation, so if there's other conversations going in, you have stuff on the other end. And then you can do enable screen sharing, and we can talk that. Oh, we can send a reaction. Ooh, let's see what happens there. I'm going to clap. Yay! I clapped. So there you have it. So there's a nice layout. So, okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and stop the screen sharing for future. So that is how the video conferencing works inside of here. Huge improvement from how it was when I first played around with it before. Now, how do you manage all of this? Inside of your main administrative panel, now you have different types of user accounts. You have basic users and you have administrative users. So this is an administrative user. If you go into your administrative settings, this over here is the all-in-one interface. This is actually how you do the back-end settings, some management and things. This will tell you if there's any security stuff. Probably the only one it's going to tell us is we haven't set our email configuration servers, which I'm not going to bother with that right now. We can install a variety of different apps in the background. If there's more functions you want in here that you didn't see, you can actually have a look down here and see what other apps there are. Here's usage survey, systems, activity, administration privileges, groupware. Oh boy, artificial intelligence. There we have it. So I think apps is a separate panel. There's administrator. Here's your apps panel. There's a separate panel for apps. All right. So inside of the apps, this will tell us if any apps need updated. So here it tells us that all apps are up to date, and it'll be able to tell us if we want to see anything. So here's Office and Text. Here's organization, security apps, things like that. So you can log in over here and see what the status of the different apps are. You can see if there's anything else. So you can see that the two-factor TOPT is enabled. You can require it for users. You can set that up. We can enable brute force. Here's download antivirus for files. Here's external passwords, geoblocker, GPG mailer. You see there's just so many different apps inside here. So if you're looking for some form or function, you can go ahead and have a look through those to see if it is there. Now that all-in-one administrator, that is this panel over here. And so this guy here is how you're going to run your backups and your updates and things flawlessly. Now on DigitalOcean, I can create a simple snapshot or whatever else. In this case here, I can just go ahead and create a backup, which will create a backup of everything inside of the system. On DigitalOcean, I prefer to just use the snapshot system. And then I'll keep that snapshot around, and then I'll delete the snapshot after a few days. But you can see right now, Apache's running, database is running, NextCloud, Push, Redis, Calibora, Talk, and Imaginary Services. These are all running. If there were an update, this stop containers would alert you that there is an update. You push the button, and then you push the button again for updates, and then push it again, and it'll turn everything back on again. Of course, we have our administrator username and password at the top, which is all blurred out up there. So no, you can't see that. This thing will still be up for a couple days after this thing is live, and then I'm going to kill it. So, you know, and then we can actually see how our configuration is set up. On your first run, you can actually choose. Actually, I think you can edit them down here at this point in time. If you wanted to adjust these settings, you'd have to turn off the containers. What are these settings? Well, if you want to run Clam AV, this is antivirus backend for NextCloud, then you can run this. It's going to take an extra gig of RAM, so be aware of that. This is the Calibora. This is what allows you to run NextCloud as a Google Office suite. So if you do not need that feature, you can turn it off, and that's going to save you some system memory and improve performance a little bit. But if you do need it, keep it turned on. Full text search takes extra RAM as well. And this is previews of a variety of different folder options or different file options, TIFF, WebP, PDF, SVG. So that in and of itself, now just note that it's incompatible with server-side encryption. The Talk applications, if you do not need the Talk applications, then you want to make sure that you turn that off. It will take extra things, but keeping it on will allow you to do communication back and forth with your individual contacts or guests that you've invited into the server. So it does say it needs ports 3478 and 3478 TCP and UDP port forward in the firewall router. I did not explicitly set those, and my instance worked and our guest's instance worked. So I don't think that's something that we necessarily need to do, or both of us just have it enabled by default. If you want to record things, you can do that, but it will take an additional extra CPUs and RAM. So that's disabled. And then Docker socket proxy, which you'd need an API for. So with the basics here, minimal system requirements, this is basically what we're running. And then of course you set your time zone as well. So all that stuff is easy to manage right here inside of this system, making this instance of NextCloud super easy to run and manage. With that, thank you for watching, everybody. Again, you can have a look at the DigitalOcean using my affiliate code tlm.li/DOH if you'd like to help support the channel and utilize something like this for yourself. This is an excellent application, and it will truly replace a lot of those big tech services that we're all trying to use on a regular basis. So there it is, NextCloud set up on DigitalOcean, very easy to use, very easy to manage. The update is a simple click of a button. Backups are available. This is a good solution. Now, whether you're a small business, if you're a small business, this makes a ton of sense. If you're an individual family, it still makes a decent amount of sense, but depending on what you need, you could get away with it for quite a bit cheaper in that case. But anyway, hopefully this video helped you out to show you some of the more advanced functions of NextCloud and that all-in-one script. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like it. Have a look at our support methods, whether at Patreon or Subscribestar or Locals. Have a look at those on the website, switchedtolinux.com/support. With that, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.